Okay, so here's my evidence that I don't think it's coming out as early as you think it is. Let's take that line into context. He said that they had begun work.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, game devs have a really, especially ones that have to deal with executives, have a really bad habit when it comes to the word work or development, because that can mean a lot of things.
Yes.
Because game development, all of its stages are basically eclipsed in that statement. It's a blanket one.
Yes.
So conceptual stage is also in there, and as we've said numerous times on a podcast, I can't remember when, conceptual stage can last a long time. It can actually be like one of the longest portions of that cycle. Because once they envision things, developing that concept isn't probably as hard as coming up with it.
Yeah.
So,
well, let me add something here.
Okay, go.
To that, because it's not just like, the Hyrule Historia thing. You're totally right, I'm sure. I'm just saying is, I think over the last couple of years, I've been seeing like various, news outlets reporting saying Nintendo is recruiting artists.
By the way, lower your mic just a little bit, because
Sorry.
I've got it pointed up at you.
Like this? So I was saying, I've been seeing like...
After we fix the Hollywood magic problem.
Yeah. So I've been saying, like I've seen like news stories here and there just, stating like artists are being recruited for the next Legend of Zelda title.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what any kind of development can be, is that they're basically they're starting at the art stage.
Conceptual stage.
They're drawing characters, they're drawing environments, and yes, obviously Breath of the Wild 2 is going to have some of the assets of this game to work off, but they still got to build new stuff.
They've already said they're going to integrate the world.
Yeah.
So.
They still got to program it, they still got to build stuff, they still got to fine-tune stuff, so yeah. If we were really going to get it like spring or even summer this year, we would have had a trailer, a full
It wouldn't have been
trailer.
October 2017 when this was being developed. It would, or when it started. If we were going to get it this year, 2015 is more likely.
I think it's
2016 pushing.
Reasonable to say, I think they could have been working on it since pretty much this game came out.
Well, and there is another thing to keep in mind, is like a lot of the stuff that's going to be made into this is being brought in from DLC assets. So at that point, they were working on the DLC, and then they just decided, you know what, this should be a whole new game. And that's fine. But here's the thing. Okay, let's just take the Champion's Ballot for a second into consideration for this. How many new assets are there? Well, there's new shrines and new challenges for the shrines, which means they probably are elements that we've seen before, but...
Come on, I'm close enough.
You probably have to wait for the other one to...
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to do it real fast. So I'm going to applaud you, because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that before, so...
Cool, all right. This is how gamers get better.
Ancient Core. Yeah.
So yeah, you have a bunch of stuff that's already being developed, but...
All right.
Like, for example,
Go away,
one of the
chest.
things that got brought in...
Oh!
You just killed Riju. Oops. That's our canon, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Riju died valiantly in the heat of battle. I totally
Against a metal chest.
I totally did not drop a metal chest on her head.
Totally not.
She shouldn't have taken
We'll
off
back
that
you up,
helmet.
right, Andrea? We'll back you up. So, at that point, like, yeah, sure, these assets might have been being worked on, but some of them were in development when the decision was made. So we don't know which is which. For all you know, new NPCs were the things that got done, which aren't that hard once you have NPC assets to be able to do. But for example, one of the things that got shown off in the trailer, a big old temple. That wasn't there before. Okay, so now they have to design that temple. Not only the outside, but the inside. And the many floors of it. And so at that point, that's why I'm saying that conceptual stage is one thing, developing it is another. And sometimes development can go longer than conceptual, and sometimes conceptual can go longer than development.
You can also just look at Metroid right now. the newest Metroid. They're still working on it.
Yeah, they're still they were working on it, and then they had to start over.
Yeah. So
that's the thing that a lot of people forget about Metroid Prime 4, or think that I forgot about, is that no, it's not. I think it was a division of Namco Bandai that was working on it before, and now it's Retro again. So, and here's the thing, Retro has not worked on Metroid Prime in years. They don't have the assets anymore, and the assets that they have are old. So they're having to build this from the ground up. Now, granted, you could say, well, in this temple, they're going to use a lot of Divine Beast architecture. Okay, then you have the aesthetics here, but you still have to build the dungeon. It's not built. You have to build it.
Yeah.
And you have to make it make sense. So that's why in a lot of cases, I think it's optimistic to think October of this year at the very earliest. In all likelihood, I think that Nintendo's not going to do that because they don't want their latest Zelda game being overshadowed by 2 new consoles coming out.
Yeah.
If they do. I don't know. We've been having a lot of delays in 2020.
Even if it could be available and ready to come out in summer, who's to say that it won't be delayed for any reason?
Yeah, exactly.
Later on.
Because delays can happen. They just want to put a final polish on it, and I don't care. Like, go polish it. For crying out loud. Give me the best possible experience I want. I'm a kid in a candy store, and I can wait for the candy to come out.
Ancient Shaft.
What? Thank you. My shaft is quite ancient. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it just once. And now everyone's like, ew, old man joke.
Such a dad, Adam.
I totally am. Having kids has not been good for me. So yeah, that's kind of my deal. I'm not trying to knock people for having that theory. That's great. You can hope. And I hope you're right. But the bottom line is, like, looking at it logically, I just don't see it coming out. If it comes out this year, it's going to be late this year. And if more than likely, it'll be next year. It'll be next year, because that I think that would be about the time that it would take for them to make that game. If it came out as early as spring or summer, I would be worried it's a short game. And that would be disappointing. A little bit. But there you go. I wanted to at least get that out there because a lot of Zelda fans have been asking us our take on that. And that's my honest assessment. Am I smoking crack?
No.
No.
I told you, it's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, it's feasible. It works. So at that point, I have no problem hoping I'm wrong. Like, prove me wrong. I don't care.
Oh, I should have probably gone up there.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that bugs the crap out of me because the thing that you move around is just a canister within Naboris. Not where, as we'll see with other Divine Beasts, you move the entire thing. Or you move an aspect of it which moves the entire beast. No, you're moving one aspect of it. And yes, you have to deal with it every now and again. Okay. Which one of my friends likes to make a joke that it sounds like the Game Boy sounds for Pokemon. Yeah, kinda. In fact, maybe I'll just add one in. Thank you, Editor Drak. He's been going a little crazy. I let him out of the Cthulian prison that he was in. Because that's canon, as far as I'm concerned. Editor Drak lives in this Cthulian prison that we've created for him.
Can you move those, Alex?
Well, I need to electrify him.
Oh.
Yeah. Because that's like 80% of this dungeon is we have to electrify and add power.
It's electrifying.
It's electric. We're going to be the most electrifying man. It's elf boy in sports entertainment. Rock joke, everybody.
They look like Thor hammers.
By the way, condolences to The Rock today.
Why? What happened?
His dad passed away yesterday.
Oh, that's a shame.
His dad, Rocky Johnson. So, I mean, dude had an accomplished career in and of himself, but along with Rock's grandfather. But I mean, to lose a dad is not fun. Speaking from personal experience. Oh, I remember how to do this one.
Good, because I think I'm
you have to stretch it. You have to stretch it out a little bit. So now that you have the connection at the top,
Yeah.
you have to push the bars out to the farthest that they will go
But
to
still
get them,
the charge.
but get the charge over to where it needs to be. It's a pain in the ass.
So
but,
you gotta have to like put like them all spread it out.
Yep. So like you've got to put so you have that top one, right? That's getting the charge.
Yeah.
So you need to pull you need to pull the one that's connected to it as far out as it can go before it loses its charge.
No,
Nope, other one to the right.
the top right where.
The top right one. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pull it out until.
Okay, so push it back until it's got its charge. Now, take the bottom right one and push it out as far as it will get a charge.
They can't go in.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going.
All right.
Oh wait.
See, you're still getting a charge. So then bring the bottom one out,
Okay.
and then it's gonna do the rest of the work. See, Onuma, this is why these puzzles didn't take long. We've done these before.
Now you can probably climb up, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got to use the other ladder he just barely used.
Yeah.
I gotta like move
do
the
it.
neck down, don't I?
No,
No.
just
Oh. No.
go up there.
We can't move the neck because we have the canister in the
Right.
middle. That was like one of my biggest complaints. Like, why can't I move the neck?
Okay, look up and.
Yeah. Now I gotta move the neck. That's right. It's all coming back to me now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's this one. Maybe. I don't remember.
No, what you have to do is there's a mechanism that actually raises the neck. It's not attached to all of those canisters. You have to go in and solve a puzzle to be able to do it. It's similar to this where you have to connect the power to be able to get that going, but then you have to do it for the neck. See, this is why Naboris is probably the more complicated divine beast, is because of this electric theme.
But I thought you like complicated.
He does. I don't.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was inventive. I thought Rudania was frustrating and for all the wrong reasons.
Redania was. That's the bird one, yeah.
No, that's the gecko.
Oh, the gecko.
The
That
gecko
one wasn't
one.
hard at all.
For me, it was, and it was because I got stuck on a few hang-ups, and it was simply because I wasn't thinking properly with how Rudania worked. So it got frustrating to me. It's not frustrating to me now, but when I was doing it, Andrea knew I wanted to throw a controller because and it's one of those puzzles you've had these happen, Alex, where you know how to do it. You just don't know that that's what it is. And so at that point, when you figure it out, it's like, mother... It was that the entire time? Yeah, I've had those. And Rudania is one of those examples. So we got that proverbial elephant out of the room. So we've talked about Zelda. Have you seen the Smash 5 announcement?
It's like a new character, but it's like Fire Emblem again.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
So it's Byleth, I believe it's the main character for Three Houses.
Yeah.
Which is sad because, like, everybody who was talking about anything, all of them were saying one thing. Don't put in more Fire Emblem characters. And now all of them are like, really? Really?
Didn't we just have this conversation?
And a lot of them have come to the same analysis that I have, because they're like, no, this is totally different. This is not just a sword fighter, because you can summon up all the various weapons that you could choose in Three Houses. Okay, so it's Link, because one of them is a bow. So it's a Fire Emblem character that works like Link. Another sword fighter. We rest our case.
Damn it, Link. Why can't you grab stuff?
Go out there and get that chest.
Yeah, you could have gotten that chest.
What?
There was a chest up there.
I probably tried. I bet I'm full on it, whatever it is. There's
Oh.
like a chest with a bow in it, and I'm like, oh,
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta love those moments, right? You worked so hard to get that chest, and then you find out it's...
Or it's just
something you
another
already
Guardian
have.
part, and Guardian parts a dime a dozen.
They are, in fact.
The only thing that's
I
really
think you
rare,
just
like,
need to.
Especially when you're killing Guardians.
I don't know. Too bad you
This
don't.
is the part I really struggle with, is trying to get to these upper platforms. I don't know the best method.
Yeah, but didn't you use Rivali's Gale at times, Dad?
You can't use... You can't
Well, he
use them
can.
Well, yeah, but
but you
can-
can't use them, period, in the dungeons. In these dungeons, anyway. Well, maybe you can in these dungeons.
You can in the fights, but that's it.
No, yeah, I'm thinking shrines. You can't use them in shrines. But
You can't use them in shrines. You can't use them in the initial Divine Beast. But I could use Rivali's Gale when I was fighting Thunderblight. That's what she's talking about, because they do actually allow you to use the various ones. Because here's the thing:
probably
once you get Urbosa's Fury, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it takes off so much health. It's so great. It just makes you so satisfied.
Is it like one of those things where you have to turn it, and then if it luckily goes in your favor, that's when
There
you
you go.
jump? When you like if you
I think it's just...
This is one of those things where it's just like he has to get the power to come to this side of Naboris. And
yeah,
then it'll...
but doesn't he have to turn the
Well,
cylinder?
he needs to get in there first. And then at that point we can figure out, okay, how on earth do we go from here?
This is just... It's just good timing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard to get up here.
So now that you've heard this, Alex, your thoughts on Byleth?
I'm disappointed. It's another Fire Emblem character in Smash.
Not only
Come
that,
on.
but like you want to know what was really cool about the DLC characters about this, Alex? They were all from different companies.
Yeah.
So like Joker was from Atlas. You had Hero coming from Square Enix. You had Banjo-Kazooie coming from Rare and Microsoft. Then you had Terry Bogard coming from SNK, and the final one's from Nintendo. I don't care about the whole Intel systems or who makes Fire Emblem. They are second party for Nintendo. So it's Nintendo.
Hey.
Why couldn't you have more? Like another company there. Now, granted, they also did announce the second
Or
fighters.
just something that's not another sword fighter character.
Yeah, exactly. Not another sword fighter. And what's funny
There you
is that
go.
they actually added really cool skins for gunners in this patch as well. And some of them actually were kind of interesting ideas as characters. For example, Cuphead. You have a Cuphead skin for gunners in Smash now. Huh, it would be really cool to get the Cuphead character in this game. Kind of thing. That's the sad reality. Like, they also had a Mega Man X or a Mega Man EXE gunner skin. It would be cool to get those versions of Mega Man. Not a whole lot of people know about Mega Man EXE. I do. I'm not entirely bought on him, but hey, X, like that would be another cool pick. Hell, we got into an argument in one of our streams because the rumor about Dante had happened. And we were just like, it really shouldn't be Dante because it's another sword fighter. And now I'm kind of hoping that guy was right, because like Byleth is not a cool announcement to me. Dante might be. So the other thing too that we should also point out, they did announce that.
What about that beam, that bigger one that is?
I need to go up here, though.
I know, but what if you use that other one that can?
Doesn't give me the reach I need.
Doesn't even, yeah. I
need-
think I know what you're talking about, Andrea. It doesn't.
It probably has a little bit more reach than this little platform.
Not enough.
Fuck!
So
This is so hard to get up there!
So, like I keep saying, so they did announce the second Smash Pass, which will include 6 characters. And Sakurai didn't technically promise this, but it was heavily inferenced on Twitter that they would be coming at a faster pace. Okay, that's fine. Can we please have other companies, and maybe you could take some of the rumored characters and consider them?
The characters that people have been asking for.
Yes, like Ryu Hayabusa. Shantae's not happening.
Shantae should happen.
I know that. I
Why
know that
is
to
she
you,
not?
Shantae should happen.
She should. That character is like the swan
No,
song for the Game Boy Color.
And
she should happen before Shovel Knight.
and
that's
Alex,
for
I
sure.
agree with you. I agree with you, but they haven't brought in any other indie games. So, hey, here's a great idea, Nintendo. How about you shock everybody by bringing in 2 indie game characters that thrived on your consoles? Okay, can we make the argument that Shantae thrived on Nintendo consoles?
I wouldn't say thrive, unfortunately, because Shantae was released too late, but it found its life eventually because because it was able to go multi-plat.
But last I checked, the better sales for Shantae games, like current ones, have been on Nintendo consoles.
I have no idea. I have no idea where sales numbers are. So,
including Seven Sirens pre-orders are on Switch. So, because of the indie love that the Switch is showing. And the other one, which I know for a fact owes a lot to Nintendo because it was exclusive to them for a while, Yacht Club. Bring in Shovel Knight.
Jeez.
That's the platform I was telling you.
Oh.
Why did nobody listen to me?
Because you said that one over there.
No, I said that beam that was connected to that same wall. Oh my gosh. Really?
Oh, I was just here. I don't need to
If
be
you had said
here.
the giant core in the middle of the room, I would have known what you were talking about. I'm sorry.
Well, you kept trying to interrupt when I was trying to explain it.
Well, you kept on interrupting me while I was trying to explain the Smash Pass.
Wow, wow, wow.